Well, let's get on to the other side of the business here. Excellent presentation. Thank you, Mike. It's great to have you back up front where you belong. And then we can start the business portion. Do we have Andy? Oh, Andy disappeared too. Okay, so secretary's report, we'll do that. So we have two things on here: minutes, meeting minutes, and bylaws. And I know Ted will say, I've sent out. He does this like a military operation. He sends it out just in time for us to take a look at and see if there was any corrections, additions, deletions to the meeting minutes, and he will gladly remedy that. I looked at it. It looked pretty simple, pretty complete. And if you always have any updates on that, please send him an email. The bylaws are, we went through in very much detail. Oh, hi, Andy. Oh, there you are. Okay, good. I'll get to you in a second. Thank you. I don't know how you're not showing up on my screen. That's odd. All right. Anyway, the bylaws are, something we worked on the last 2 months. We went through them in great detail. We offered comments. We gave them to Ted to kind of put together in a draft format. And I think what we'll do to mitigate any delays is I'll ask Ted to put it out to the group for one final set of review per our bylaws themselves to make sure that we're staying in compliance and make sure. And so the idea is for us to ratify them or to put them into a revision control on the next meeting. And so we are in alignment with our goals in that regard. And as long as, there aren't any last minute hiccups along the way, that would be great. There was just some, for those who didn't pay attention to some of those changes, we had to change our website and how we do business, whether it's virtually or otherwise, and other things that are just normal things. And we haven't really updated those bylaws in several years, probably 4 or 5 anyway, as far as I can remember. So we will pass up on that and we will use email. We'll do tomorrow or the next. Okay, thank you, Ted. He's chatting with us. He's able to chat, but he doesn't have a microphone control. So if anybody wants to say something about Ted, now's a good time. Does anybody have anything to add to what I said about the bylaws and how we're going to go through that? I plan on going through Google Groups and maybe even Ham Club Online to push something out for other people to have a last sort of chance to see them before we go ahead and complete them. All right. Thank you, Andy. You gave me the thumbs up. Everybody else just nodding. That's good. All right. Very good. Thank you. Let's go on to Treasurer's Report. Andy, you want to give us an update?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Treasurer's Report. As of yesterday, our total assets are $4,329.67. Do I need to break it down into,
go ahead, Andy. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the screen in a minute as soon as I bring it up, and that way people can see it while you're talking about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, in our OSU savings account, we got $1,842.20. No, I'm sorry. That's our checking account, $1,842.20. Our savings account is $2,486.66. So our total OSU bank account is $4,328.86. Our PayPal balance is nothing. Our Square Up balance is 81 cents. So our total assets is $4,329.67. And that concludes the Treasurer's Report.
All right. Thank you, Andy. Anybody have any questions for Andy on that? I didn't see a whole lot of expenditures on there unless you whizzed by it while I wasn't looking.
Can you put that back? Never mind. I know what I missed. Never mind.
And so there's a reminder if there was any costs. I know Mike, anybody that has any expenses that came up for the recent several tables for the club that we had at the Hamfest, please make sure you submit that to Andy for reimbursement. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah,
Hearing
I think
silence, I'll-
that,
Yeah.
I think Hamfest expenses came out of the Hamfest revenues.
Uh,
No,
no,
no.
no.
no, I paid that was all separate. So Michelle got 100% of the revenue of what we sold. And right now I paid cash for the tables and entrance and a couple of entrance fees. So I'll be sending you a request.
Thank you, everybody.
Good.
All right, let's move on. Ron, we have you with anything, any requests or updates on the website report you wanna, or the website, you wanna take your 2 cents and
Well,
see
yeah,
what-
www.peakradio.org. And I do have, the bylaws are out there, and, you know, I haven't created a photos page yet, but that's next on my list to do, so that as we start getting some photos, you know, like 10 inches of snow in May here or something, we can get them posted up there.
Don't be creating our weather, Ron. All right,
I have a
great. We would
question.
like to.
Question. Who is the owner of the website address?
So Anna put a request to get the domain name. Ron and I both have right access to change the website content right now.
But we don't know who owns the domain name.
Anna's not here to answer, but
Okay.
that's who I want to talk to. Yep. She offered up the ability to add it to her list of many domain names that she has for a variety of reasons, and it was no issue. And I told her to submit a request for reimbursement, and I don't know if she ever did that.
The reason I ask is the person who has access to the ownership of that has an account with one of those domain name management companies. And if they are unable, or if, you know, for some reason disabled from getting access to that account, we have no control over that domain name. And when the annual dues come, you know, time to pay for maintaining that domain registered to somebody, it gets canceled and becomes available to the world at large to buy.
Mhm.
So it's important that we know who owns that domain name, and that we have the ability to gain access to it to keep the subscription to that domain name, so that we can maintain it. Am I making sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And there was a big
Okay.
story about Google losing it for like 10 minutes one day.
I
And that
know.
made big press. So I think the quick action on this one, Andy, if you could do me a favor, just go ahead and put it out to the board of directors, and Anna should respond, and we'll get this resolved very quickly. I'm sure of it. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
bringing that up. That's a risk we don't want to incur.
Yes, I will add there that the website itself is through Google. So, and it is, so there's a link between the domain name and the website. So if we lose the domain name for some reason, like you mentioned, it doesn't block access to our information on the website.
We could
It's
rehost it
harder to
somewhere
get
else.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a problem if we did, and we'd have to post it and send out new emails and everything else. It would be something we'd like to avoid.
Yeah.
But yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
it's a real concern. I am not questioning that. It's just, there's two pieces to that is all I was bringing up. Yeah.
Yep. Excellent. Anybody else have any questions on or about the website? Okay. Mike, would you like to give us a little update on I felt like we had a very successful Hamfest, not only just in showing, but number of tables sold. And of course, it's not our Hamfest, but we had a lot of traffic through there the other day, and you know, for what we did for Bill's estate.
Yeah, so a couple observations is that I don't know if everybody knows this, but table wise, they were all sold out on tables. There was a backlog of people wanting to get tables. There was some horse trading that was going on at the last minute to try and get people some tables there, but all the tables were sold out for the event. One of the key things were our tables. We had 2 tables, and when we started off, those tables were completely covered. We had basically two truckloads of stuff of boxes and stuff that we brought in there and laid out across all the tables. Plus, there was a fair amount of stuff that was put underneath there, and as space became available, then we rolled it up on top there to try and get some visibility. The this time, well, this time we tried to be very engaged with the customers that were wandering through. And so we were talking to lots of customers, trying to create interest, trying to find what they might be looking for. We also were being pretty creative on pricing, on trying to move as much product as we could. But the nice thing about that, even though we had an awful lot of stuff that we sold, at the end of that, it basically fit all back into 2.5 boxes. And that was what we brought back to Michelle. So it was really amazing how much that we got rid of. Now, there was also, to contrast there were a couple things that didn't sell. We had a whole bunch of Arden equipment that was very, very obsolete, and it just we couldn't pay. And so unfortunately those things got recycled back at United Waste. And there was some other miscellaneous, some other smaller stuff that just didn't have any product value, but we weren't going to end up holding on to it, trying to find new homes. That got recycled back at United Waste. So we were very successful in the amount that we moved through. Now let's talk about attendance. In the past, I've experienced where you could not even get up and down those aisles at the Hamfest. This time here, we were in a position where I could watch the front door, watch the people come through. So all the people in the queue coming in there, that queue was basically got cleared out by about 9:40 in the morning. So that meant there wasn't a whole lot of other people that were backing up trying to get into that place. So we had plenty of elbow room to get up and down the aisles, which tells me that we just didn't have the number of people that we have in the past as far as just participants. But anyway, it was very, very successful. We did better than what I had expected, and I knew that we were going to be aggressive, and we still exceeded my expectations. But we still have a few other gems that was in Bill's estate there that I really want to try and find some other homes.
Thank you, Mike, and I appreciate you leading the charge on this effort. I know Michelle and her family are very appreciative of how we've stepped up in honoring Bill's memory, and all the actions that came out of it as well.
So Michelle, yesterday when I gave her the funds and gave her kind of a summary of what went on, she said, she really, really by her heart appreciates all the work that we put into this to sell all of this equipment. It's really been amazing how we've kind of pared things down. And I'll add that for the team of people that, this time around, we had a different team of people in there selling things than what we did in October. And so everybody's had their own baptism in being involved in that, being behind the table instead of in front of the table. I really appreciate everybody's help and everybody's active role that they took on trying to take and move products. So that's really super appreciative. So thank you, everybody.
Nice. Not to add anything, but I'm happy to post something, or if anybody, Mike or anybody else wants to post, whatever's left that might be a bigger ticket item to the Ham Club online, to offer it to the community first before it goes to EHAM or something else. Just let me know and I'll do what I can, or somebody else.
I'll be getting together with Michelle. We'll be working on a plan on either eBay or some other way of trying to sell some of this stuff. And so I'll make sure that everybody in the club has first rights to pick any of this stuff off.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you,
Round of
everybody.
applause for Mike leading that championship, championing that effort. It's not often we lose a valued member of the club, and we certainly gave him, and his family he'd be very proud of what we've done.
Yep.
All right. Just as a reminder, the repeater report, the best place to go is w7pra.com for anybody who wants to see a list of the repeaters. Since we have new faces here all the time, I thought I'd keep mentioning it. But also there's a Facebook page under groups. If you go to Facebook groups, if you are interested, there is a W7PRA repeat group. There's not a lot of traffic there. You're not going to see things every day. You're going to see, as needed updates. Our repeater owner, Chris, AB7BS, does a great job of maintaining these things. In fact, he's so busy, he doesn't have time to update all of the statuses. And so he appreciates when people report things onto the repeater group that tells him that something isn't working or it's noisy. And, just let him take his time to be able to handle the situation. Okay. Upcoming events. I know, Mike, you put out an email. You want to kind of quickly remind us what's coming up, or anybody else can do the same. We've got a few things coming up. Here it is, February. We've got March, April, May coming up.
Yeah. Let's see here. Whoops. Muted here. There, I'm unmuted. So yeah, I put out an email just and there's tons of other stuff going on. And I mentioned that there's a number of expeditions out there going on. So for chasing DX, the sun has been just incredible out there, both giving us DX and taking it away as far as being too hot on some of the things that we have going on. So one of the things that I always enjoy going down to is the DX convention down in Visalia. That's April 12th and 14th. You get to rub shoulders with all the guys out there making the big splashes for all the DX going around. They actually, one of the neat inventions that they've come up with is called a rib. That's a remote in a box. So rather than having people on an island or a very sensitive area all the time, we can go out to the island, drop this rib off, and put up a bunch of antennas, and then that has a remote link back to the ship, and then do all the operation from there. So you can actually look inside and feel and see what one of these ribs really look like. So that was a pretty neat thing. Another thing that's coming up is the 7th Area QSO party. I'm probably this week or next week, I will be sending out a bunch of email and starting that process up and getting things going. So that's May 4th and 5th. These are all things that we want to end up reserving some time in our calendar. Because if we don't get it in our calendar, something else is going to get in the way of us enjoying some of these premium things. So that's a wonderful, that's a really cool event that we do out in the Ochiocos. CPAC, that's the ARL Pacific Northwest Convention. That's May 31st through June 2nd. Friday, they have workshops that they usually put on. So it's a kind of an intense workshop where you learn a lot of cool things about particular subjects. Then in the regular conventions, you have the ability to get involved with the manufacturers, see the latest radios, see the latest systems, ask questions. You can actually put your hands on the dials and see what these radios really look like and how they get used before you end up making a purchase. There's also lots of other little workshops and seminars that go on during that time. Tons of giveaway, big ticket giveaway, good stuff that they have on the floor. Also, they have a flea market there for trading used equipment. The next one that you got to have on your calendar, and that's the good old ARRL Field Day. That's June 22nd, 23rd. So that's where we get to play radio for the weekend. And generally we do that down at the park there in the Willamette Valley, or Willamette
Willamette Park. Yeah.
Park. There we go. I'll get it out eventually. So that's another great one to put into. And we need to be talking about trying to make a decision if we want to use that same space and get a reservation in on that.
Yeah.
And that's
When's
the
a good
highlight.
time to do that? When's a good time to do that, Mike? Is it maybe next month to kind of make that decision, or okay?
Yep. Yeah, or even even let's see. That'll be
February.
March. Yeah, it's February now, so it'd be March. I mean, we can even be making it now or next month is when we need to move forward. We have to move forward on it.
And there's it's a couple of $100, I think, to rent it for the time that we need it. As Bill was always taking care of this for us, so I'm a little bit cold on the how it all works. But I think somebody in the club, I think you or Anthony or
And basically, Andy and I duked it out,
Andy.
and he was always 2 steps in front of me whenever I wanted to do things. So it's between
Awesome.
us two as far we can flip coins or arm wrestle or whatever we want to do for this year.
Cool. I think it's a great location. I don't know if anybody else disagrees. It's got ample trees and shade, of course, as they kind of go hand in hand. Flat. It's exposed to, I think the only thing that we have to worry about is the people walking their dogs through the area. I think that's the only challenge. Other than that, I think it's a great location.
Yep. I think that's the best. I would prefer to go back there because it gives good access to the town. We have people that wander through here. We can I put out the word, and I've always had a lot of friends wander through there. So I think it's a good place.
And something I'll add is it's now a photo location too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's part of the Willamette River Greenway.
Huh.
We know what Ron will be doing.
Yeah.
Something to do on that Friday as you're setting up. Yep.
That's right. You got to be able to test all your equipment out.
So Mike, your level of comfort, Andy, do you want to make a decision and cast a vote now for this activity, or do you want to wait till next month? It's up to you.
I think the earlier the better to secure the site. So I'm kind of busy right now. In fact, I'm waiting to go back east for some business I have to take care of. So if Mike wants to handle getting that permit, I can mail him a check. If he wants me to do it, I'm going to have to do it before I leave in 2 weeks because I won't be around for a while. So it would be most convenient for me if Mike just took the lead on that and got for me whatever financial assistance he needed from the club.
Yeah, could I get a copy of the paperwork? Do you have a way of getting me a copy of the paperwork so when I walk in there? I had the stuff before, but I know some stuff had changed. And as I remember, we did not go with the drink permit at all. We just went with the just using the site.
Right. Yeah, we didn't get the alcohol permit because the regulations had changed and they required a specific insurance rider from the insurance company. That I, I I actually never even went through the process of trying to get that rider from the insurance company. So I don't know what's involved to get an alcohol permit. But we would have to
Okay.
pay for an additional insurance rider, which we did not have to do before. So it was something different and I did not know what was involved. So we, at the encouragement of me, opted out of it, but we can investigate what to do. Best thing to do is just go down to the park office and ask them what they need. Then you can make an inquiry to the insurance company. And if my memory serves correct, it was finding out from the insurance company how to properly respond to the city's request, where I ran into a bit of a stone wall. Like they didn't have an answer to my question, and I dropped the subject, so it needs to be investigated further.
Okay.
It-
So I guess I'll
bottom
make
line,
a
it's not
statement.
required.
Are we good with not having an alcohol permit? Okay. And then, so the only other thing I need would just the proof of insurance.
Right. Well, I'll forward to you the copy of the paperwork that we secured last year, and you can inquire at the park permit office any further details you might require.
Yep. Okay. And like you, I have about another week and a half where I have to get this done, or otherwise I'm going to be out of commission for a little while. So I'll
Okay.
get it
Well,
done.
all right. You get it done. If there's a problem, just yell, Andy, take care of it, and I'll jump in there and take care of
We'll make it happen.
it. Okay.
Anything else there, Paul?
No, the one, two things. One is so before I go to new business or any upcoming events, I wanted to, we've been having some email chatter with Ted, who has electronic laryngitis and is unable to share, but he did share the bylaws with some updates via email on the Google groups. And so I just thought I'd throw it back out there and see if there was anybody who had any comments that they would like to share about the bylaws. Because again, these are going to kind of go out. I'm going to read the bylaws as they exist, hoping Anna, who just joined, will be able to make sure that I stay on the right path and to make sure that we get these ratified by next month.
Yeah, I think we're looking good. Sorry, my video isn't working well today, so yeah.
It's an epidemic.
Neither am I, so we'll leave it at that.
Okay. All right. Great. So there is so Ted, being astute and a good listener as he is put out the draft changes, and he marked everything that was changed in bold. So you can see exactly where the changes happened, and those are the new changes. We did not show the old because the old doesn't really need to be shown anymore. It was what it used to be, and it was just sort of outdated. So all we did is refresh it and move it forward, and to keep ourselves clean. It's been a while since we've updated them. Please feel free to take a look at them and get back to Ted if there's any questions, concerns, changes, or just good old fashioned thanks for the job, Ted. either way, do appreciate it. Any other further comments on the bylaws? I mean, you can look at them later. It's up to you. Okay. Any new business or upcoming events or items of interest? I know Anthony's not here. He'll usually tell us about any upcoming training from Aries. Maybe Scott, you can, if you could tell us if there's any Aries classes coming up or anything, because Anthony's not here. Do you know of anything? And then we'll hand it off to others.
We plan to have our next tech class in May. So right now we're on a schedule of every 3 months, and we may, if we get enough demand, we might squeeze in a general class course, but I don't know how that's going to go. Yeah, Anthony will know a little bit more because he's more on the administrative side. But right now, if you know, you can spread the word. Tech class in May, about middle of May, something like that. And of course, test session go with that. So that's as far as I know.
Awesome. Excellent. Great. So please get a hold of Scott or Anthony if you have anybody who would like to take participation in that. I think it's through the Benton County Aries. Feel free, pass the word around. Any other news, new business, or upcoming events? Items of interest? I know, Mike, you already shared with us some things that are coming up. I appreciate that.
Mike and Key is in Puyallup on the 8th, I think, March 8th. Hamfest/swap meet. It's at the Western Washington Fairgrounds in Puyallup.
How far is that, Anna? Do you know, is that Vancouver or north, or where is that?
No, it's Puyallup is South Metro area, south of Tacoma, a little ways, kind of between Tacoma and Olympia. So it's a ways to go, but I mean the swap meet's probably easily twice the size of Rick Real, at least as big as CPAC is, if not bigger. It's more of a swap meet than it is a Hamfest. So, I mean, they may have licensing classes there and everything, but the reason to go is to find treasures. Probably the quality, I think, is a little bit better than Rick Real is, but I haven't been in since before the pandemic. So I'm thinking about going this year, but I'm not sure.
Thank you, Anna. Anybody else have anything to add? Anything new and exciting in the ham community that you're trying to learn?
We released a new product today. We'll see how badly it succeeds or fails. So we'll see.
And what is it?
It is the new version of the Maestro. It's
Okay.
the Maestro C. So it has, it's kind of an upgraded design of, for those that don't know, the Maestro is our remote control head, essentially. So it runs on batteries. The new Maestro is different because we put a big lithium battery in, so it lasts, I think we're getting rundown times of like 8 hours out of it. So the battery lasts 8 hours on the thing. It's got wireless and Ethernet in it. You can connect either locally or across the internet on it. Has a VESA connector on the back, so if you're really into it, you can mount it as a remote head in your car. We have crazy people that do that, but yeah. So anyway, I worked hard on it. It's a little embedded Windows box. I did most of the OS work and integrating with hardware and stuff like that on that project. So, yeah.
Nice. Good luck. Last call.
Not that anybody but Mike here is, rich enough to have a Flex radio, but
I will add, for the good of the order, I now have a new granddaughter. This makes number 3. And so, and I'm going to be having a grandson here in about 2 weeks. So I'm adding to the soon to be hams in the Lusardi family. And so I just need to get them a tech book that'll last, 10 or 12 years so that they can study. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. All right, I'm going to go ahead, unless there's anything else, I'm going to go ahead and close the meeting. I appreciate everybody's attendance. I hope the newcomers have enjoyed the variety of education and information as far as business goes. Hope you come back next time.